Hey there, small business owners. Ever feel like your online presence needs a serious upgrade? Introducing the Automagency, your go-to for professional website design. We understand the importance of a strong online presence beyond just social media. At the Automagency, we take the time to understand your business, define your brand, and build a website tailored to your needs and budget. Yes, we even offer flexible payment plans. Relax and let us be your autumn, bringing peace and growth to your business this season. Visit us today at theautomagency.co and transform your online presence. Let us be your autumn.
I'm a Cumberland County resident. I graduated from Cumberland County High School, went on to Tennessee Tech and graduated from there with a degree in human ecology, which has come in very handy.
Really?
Yes.
You're gonna do.
I was thinking more social work, counseling, daycare, things like that. City manager position became open. Everyone asked, was I going to apply, because I'd served as interim a few years ago. And I kept saying no. It was not a goal of mine. It was not on my radar. But the more I got to thinking about it, we have so many projects going right now. And it just wasn't the right time for someone new to come in and step in the middle of all of these different things going on.
Welcome to What's Up Crossville, your go-to podcast for all the happenings in our quaint Tennessee town. Whether you've been here for generations or have just moved to enjoy our slower, friendlier pace of life, this is the place to connect with the heart and soul of Crossville. Here, we dive deep into the facts, share true stories, and get to know our neighbors a little bit better. Each episode aims to inform, inspire, and entertain, steering clear of the negative noise and controversies often found outside in the world today. This is Melissa Ellis, and I'm here to ask, what's up, Crossville?
Today we have Valerie Hale, and she is our first female city manager. I know that seems like a really not such a big deal, but it is a big deal because we've had men do it, and I'm not saying that women can do it better or men can do it better, but it's really interesting that, wow, we have a woman doing it now. And I, as a woman, I get excited to see that. What unique perspectives do you think you can bring to this role?
Well, a lot of people ask me, are you excited about being the first female? But it's like, I don't really think of it that way.
I could tell when I said that, you kind of went, there it is again.
It's more like I felt like I was the right person at the right time.
And that's good.
Yeah, but it is different. And being a female, I bring different perspectives, like you said.
Yes.
Certainly multitasking, I think just naturally. Females multitask.
Yes, we do.
Naturally, a little bit better than men. And I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm just saying that we just run multiple things all day long.
Because we've been running households.
Exactly, in our household, yeah. So naturally, that just works out better, being a female. Also, empathy. I think females bring empathy more so than males do.
And at least we show it.
We do, yeah, we do. And definitely being a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Females are more apt to be cheerleaders more so, I think, than males, and can really inspire their employees.
I think you're right about that. Were you a cheerleader in high school?
Only in the 9th grade.
Oh, you stopped there. Okay.
Yeah, I stopped there,
there's a lot of things where I stopped in the 9th and 10th grade, and I was like, that wasn't for me at all. I look back, that's not even the same person. How did you, just tell me a little bit about yourself and what brought you to this role of city manager here in Crossville. I know you've been with the city for quite a while.
Yes, I've been with the city since 2010.
Okay.
And I was hired as the assistant city clerk back then, and then the city clerk retired in 2017, and I was appointed to take her position January 2018. So I'm a Cumberland County resident. I graduated from Cumberland County High School, went on to Tennessee Tech and graduated from there with a degree in human ecology, which has come in very handy.
Really?
Yes.
Now we've gotten into a totally different topic, human ecology.
Human ecology.
When you did that, when you decided to major in that, what were you thinking you were going to do?
I was thinking more social work, counseling. daycare, things like that.
Well, and there's that empathy thing. So that makes perfect sense for you. And it does come into play a lot for you now.
It certainly does.
Wow, that's incredible. Like I would be like, well, I'm now the city manager and I have my degree in music therapy. And there's like no use for that. I'm going to sing to you guys the notes of the last meeting or whatever.
The therapy part would work.
The therapy part would work, but it's going to be musical. And so I wrote a song about it. Well, that's really incredible. So city clerk, and then from there,
City manager position became open.
Yeah.
Mr. Wood decided to retire.
Right.
And so we had the applications out, and everyone asked, was I going to apply? Because I'd served as interim a few years ago for about 30 days.
Okay.
And I kept saying no.
So you're just not, this isn't something that
It was
you
not
were
on my
new
radar.
to it, but
No,
yeah.
it was not a goal of mine.
Okay.
It was not on my radar. But the more I got to thinking about it, we have so many projects going right now. And it just wasn't the right time for someone new to come in and step in the middle of all of these different things going on.
Yes.
Plus, anytime you change management, the employees, they're just uneasy.
Yeah.
They're uneasy. So I felt like someone that was already on staff with the city was really the person to take over the position of city manager. So no one was willing. I shouldn't say no one was willing. No one else was raising their hand saying they wanted to do it. So I sought advice from other people.
Yes.
And I prayed about it and just decided, you know what, this is it.
This is
I'm
it.
going to do it. Yep, I'm going to do it. And if it doesn't turn out well, I felt like it was the right thing to do at the right time.
Right.
So
and you're doing your best.
I'm doing my best.
So you guys got a lot of projects. Are there any of them that we can talk about today? Anything you want to share about them? Anything you're super excited about?
Well,
I'd
I'm
like to
super
talk about
excited
all of
about the
them.
new downtown sidewalks. I know that's kind of boring to people.
No. I'm big on that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I've been involved with the project since 2018. So I'm very invested in the project, all the way from the grant application to getting the easements and all the grant funding. It has been a process. I mean, a true process. So I'm very excited that we've actually gotten that started. And if you've been out on Main Street recently, you've seen the heavy equipment and concrete going everywhere. And it's just, when it's done, it's really going to be nice. And
So is it just, are they redoing the sidewalks
they
or
are
are we
demoing
adding?
the sidewalks and replacing them.
Oh,
And then we'll
fantastic.
have pedestrian signals as well, and they'll be ADA compliant.
Yay!
That's what I'm most excited about. And then, of course, you've heard about the YMCA and the
I have.
indoor rec facility. You've heard about that. So I'm really excited about that as well. And the fact that so many children are going to get the opportunity to learn to swim.
Yes.
You know,
Oh my
'cause that's
gosh.
something we need around here.
It is. I remember several years ago, some girl that my sister was actually friends with, they cheered. And she was like, hey, I'm teaching, swim lessons from my pool. And I thought, this is perfect because where else are my kids going to learn? We don't live in Fairfield, and I know that they used to teach there or someone probably taught there. So I had them signed up with her. And it was so important to me to have my kids be able to swim. And, I spoke to Kevin Dean about this last week. We talked a little bit about the rec center. And I know that there's a lot of pushback. There's a lot of support. I mean, it just cuts like a knife right down the center in this community.
It does.
And, he brought up the fact that this is just, this is something that our community needs. Like, I know it seems really expensive, and we don't even know what the price is going to be yet. I know it's a lot of speculation, and it's theorized, we can do that. But it's also creating jobs.
It is.
Again,
and,
it's going to create
opportunity,
jobs.
yes.
It is.
And I think 5 to 10 years from now, we'll look back and say, why didn't we do this sooner?
Yes. And everyone's like, well, I know it's going to take our taxes and everything. There's a lot of things that take my taxes that I'm not thrilled about. And if I could pick and choose, this would be one of the things I would choose for. I'm really excited to see that. I'm really devastated that my older two that have graduated will not get to experience, but my younger two will. I don't know what else is in store for youth in it, but I imagine that it would be cool to have the possibilities of swim teams from our schools. Like I remember telling my husband when he moved here from Texas, I was like, well, I was like, they don't have a swim team because there's no pools in the schools.
Right.
And he's like, there's no pools in the school. Like, he could not believe it. So apparently, and in my mind, because I graduated from here, that makes sense that we wouldn't have a pool in our school. We have halls and we have ag areas, and,
Right.
marching
it's
bands.
more common in the northern states.
It is. And, I was shocked that that was a thing for other people. And here it is. I'm like, this is a possibility that we could see in a few years down the road. And I'm excited about that.
I am too.
So that's one of the projects.
And the summer child care programs, that they hope to offer. Yeah, that is very much needed.
Yes, it is. How many people do we see on social media saying, hey, I need to find someone to watch my kids? And all the daycare centers are booked. They're on waiting lists. I know the woman across the street watches a few kids. And I mean, like, every little bit helps. And here I'm thinking, we have childcare now. You guys, we're going to have childcare.
We're going to have opportunities for that, that's for sure.
And childcare for when you work out.
Yes.
Which was, that's what I told Kevin. I was like, when I first had my 10-year-old, I had a lot of baby weight on me, and I was trying to lose it, but there was nowhere I could go because I was a stay-at-home mom. Like, where am I going to work out? Can I bring him to, and he's going to sit there and scream. Well, if I had a childcare to do that, like I did with my older two when I lived in Knoxville, and I was able to keep that baby weight off. But I remember someone saying, hey, we have childcare here for 2 and up. And I'm thinking, if I'm getting it when they're 2 years old, it's no longer baby weight. That is like, we're here to stay weight. So,
Well, and you're creating habits with the kids too. You're there working out, so they're seeing you work out, and so it just leads to healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. And I'm just really excited about it. I know that a lot of people aren't, and I encourage them to just kind of hold tight, wait to see what it happens. Like, we can worry ourselves to death about what it's doing, before it happens. And I think that if we just kind of sit back and see, what's going to happen with it, and then we see the after, and I'm sure it's a learning curve. We're growing, that I think it's going to be exciting if we just kind of give it a chance. Are there any other projects that?
Well, first, before we move on, you mentioned taxes.
Yes.
I just wanted to point out that this is going to be paid for by sales tax rather than property taxes.
Awesome.
So I just wanted to point that out. And the city council just voted for a water rate increase, which has nothing to do with the rec facility either. So just want to clarify.
And I'm glad you're doing that,
yeah.
because that's what we're doing here with What's Up Crossville on this podcast, is to inform, inspire, and educate. Not educate, but entertain. You don't have to entertain for us today unless you have a song on your heart. We will take it.
You don't want
But
me to sing.
I appreciate every bit of information you give, because we do typically take on whatever we've heard. And usually what we're hearing, we take as gospel, and we're hearing it from somebody else who heard it and took it as gospel.
Right.
And so it's not property taxes, it's sales taxes. And there's an increase in the water, but it has
not
nothing
related.
to do
It's
with
two
it.
different funds. Yeah, it's two different funds. It's not related whatsoever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that's good to know. So now everybody knows, and we don't have to fight and argue about it. You don't have to believe us. But, these are good things. I appreciate you being very clear on that. What other projects?
Well, we're getting ready to build a fire station at Cotton Patch Drive, which is just off of Interstate Drive,
Yes.
and to relocate fire station number 2, which is currently across from Centennial Park.
Okay.
There's been some problems with the building, so we're getting ready to relocate that and serve our customers better because of the location.
So will they be, I'm just curious, because I don't know much about fire halls. So again, you're going to be informing me. I'm assuming that from the Centennial Park location, they cover a lot of what's going on the north end of town.
Yes.
And that's got to be a really difficult
Yes,
drive. So
yes.
if they're already
Centrally located in that area, yes.
fabulous.
And it'll help with insurance ratings.
Oh, see, and you guys hear that? Ah. Do you have anything else?
I don't think I have anything.
You're like, I'm multitasking enough.
Well, yeah, we're doing some renovations at the airport terminal building.
Yeah.
Which we received a grant for that, and it's coming together slowly but surely. So new restrooms, new meeting facility at the terminal building, and like I said, we received a grant from the FAA to do that. It was a 50% grant. Actually, it was not a 50% grant. It was 100% grant.
Awesome.
that we
So
received
that's
from-
not coming out of our property taxes
No,
either.
it's not.
Good to know. I get it. People worry about, what they're paying for, but, it's
I
also
get it.
really
They
good.
should be informed.
Yes, and
should be,
you're
yes.
informing us right now, and that's what we appreciate. What are your top priorities for the city this upcoming year?
Well, I mentioned the projects. That's something that we, which is one of the reasons why I took the position, was to be able to step in, in the middle of all these projects. But getting them completed on time and within budget, that's going to be quite a task, keeping those in line. We've also been working with the chamber to make sure that our community is ready for retail development, because we are anxious. Everyone wants the shopping and the dining. We want all those opportunities, but we need to make sure we're ready by developing some marketing tools and making sure that the developers understand that Crossville is open for business.
Yes.
And we're willing to do business with them.
And that was something, I had Kevin on and wanted to be sure, you guys are not telling people not to come here.
No.
We're very inviting.
We welcome you.
We welcome you because it's more, they're jobs. Mm-hmm. It does. It creates jobs and it creates commerce. It's very beneficial to the community. You guys are not going to say, no, we do not want you to come here because we like it better when people
sit at home and do
nothing and don't make a lot of money with what they're doing, or they want to shop somewhere else and give money to another community.
No, we want to keep it here.
That's pretty awesome. I know that the woman I had on before, her name was Mary Ann, and she's working with Local Tennessee. They have created an app where they allow small businesses, mom and pop stores, to list their business for free.
Wow.
Like if they want, I guess further advertising and whatnot, it costs more, but basic listing. So if you get the app, you can just look into that city and say, hey, I'm looking for florists. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get all your little mom and pop shops right there. I think that's incredible. I'm not saying that we stay local and we don't give money to Walmart, because Walmart keeps my husband in business. So I think there's a big snowball effect that goes when people are like, well, don't give it to Walmart, give it to this. Well, my husband makes money off of Walmart packaging. So, I like to eat as well. So please support whatever you need. It's a trickle-down effect. It is. It's a trickle-down effect. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm also going to be working on updating our strategic planning with the city council. Yeah. We'll be working on that pretty soon.
Fantastic. And what will that entail?
It's basically a visioning session where you just sit down with the city council and a consultant and talk about what their goals are, where they want to be in 5 years.
I know that a lot of people are not excited about Crossville growing. Growth's inevitable.
Mm-hmm, it is.
And if you don't grow, you die.
Well, you want a place where your kids will come back.
Yes.
Once they go away to school or get their education, post high school somewhere else. You want them to have a place to come home.
Absolutely. And I've seen that here. A lot of people that I went to school with, they left and that was it.
Yeah.
Some of us have come back and we're like, hey, we want to grow our hometown. We want to make it better. Mm-hmm. Some of us have become city managers. Some of us became, they managed the Palace Theater. I want to talk to Melina about that too.
Yeah.
But, there's so many incredible things that we do when we've gone out into the world. We've garnered an education that we know that we can apply to make things better back home.
Yes.
And I think a lot of us have done that, and we want to continue and encourage that. Mm-hmm. And so
if they choose not to, that's fine.
Yes.
But still, the opportunity needs to be there for them to come back.
Absolutely.
If they want to.
My rule with my kids, I have 2 kids that have graduated at this time, and they both live in Cookville. And my encouragement to them was move. Mm-hmm. As soon as you graduate, move. I don't care if it's going to college or if you're going to just live somewhere, because I don't want you to feel like you're stuck here. But if you come back, that means you chose that.
To be here, yes.
You chose that because you got something that you wanted to gift to your hometown, or because you missed that kind of living, smaller town living, or so that's something I've encouraged, and I like it. I like living in a small town, and we're not that big. We're a huge county, but I like the fact that people want to be here, and I don't think that they want to change things. I know that that's a big argument. They want it to be a bigger city. Crossville's never going to be a bigger city. Well, I'm not worried about it, but they definitely want to bring in some, I say, amenities or just whatever that makes life better.
Mm-hmm.
And I know
they can bring their experiences back.
Yes. And it doesn't mean that it is going to fit all the time. Sometimes it's like, yeah, that was a bad idea. Let's not do that again. Right. But, I think everyone is not trying to change Crossville. They're wanting to share something beneficial that they found and say, hey, Crossville, let's try this. You may like it.
Better, yeah.
Let's make it better. And that's a big, make it better is absolutely, that should be your slogan. You're like, I'm not running for anything. Valerie Hale, make it better.
Some marketing tools.
There you go. In the world of small business, every day feels like a whirlwind. Owners are constantly balancing tasks, struggling to find time for what matters most. But in this busy season, relief arrives. Introducing the Autumn Agency's Small Business Division. Imagine a team that not only designs websites and masters SEO, but also provides essential business tools and strategies. With the Autumn Agency, owners gain access to expert business consultants who offer personalized strategies and tools to optimize operations. From marketing plans to financial insights, our consultants empower you to make informed decisions that drive growth. Digital marketing, social media, branding, e-commerce, every aspect of your business is perfected. Visit us today at theautumnagency.co and let us be your autumn.
Can you share an interesting story or something surprising that you've encountered since taking on this new role?
Yes, I can, but it's kind of a general statement. The support that I've received has been amazing from the community, but especially females.
Oh, yeah.
Within our community and other female leaders, they have really, whether I was just an acquaintance or whether I was their friend, they have totally made me feel welcome and said, you know what, we've got you on this. You can do it. You can do it.
Right.
And we totally support you 100%. And that has been a big shock to me. And I don't know why it was a shock, because we have great people in this town.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it just, they came to me and they came forward, and it just made me feel really good and boosted my confidence.
I don't ever want anyone to think that I'm a feminist or you're a feminist or anything.
Right.
And we're not trying to downgrade men. We feel like we can contribute. That's what it is, ultimately.
Yes.
We can contribute. And I was the same way when Milena took over, the palace. That was so exciting for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that any of the previous guys were horrible. I'm saying that, oh, wow, they finally let a woman do it. And she's doing a killer job.
She is rocking it, totally.
And I know that there have been some, hiccups, not from her, but it's just, we came out of a pandemic and we're still coming out of it. There's still a lot of aftermath. And, she's rolling with the punches, and she's bringing some of the bands that I've seen listed in her lineup. It's just like, oh, wow, you're doing these things that are up to Cookeville standards, or, we don't have to travel to Nashville anymore. And I'm not saying we can't travel to Nashville for concert tickets, but you're bringing quality entertainment here at I say better price, something that I can afford on my budget, and I don't have to pay for parking, relatively speaking. I know that we do have some parking spots that you have to pay for around here, but if I'm parking close to the palace, relatively speaking, there's no parking. If I go out to eat, I get to go out to eat to the Poorhouse or Forte's or even CPG if I just want some good hot wings. There's just so much opportunity, and she's just kind of embracing that. She's really doing a great job.
Outside of the box, for sure.
She is, and I know that you're going to do the same thing. I know that you are. You're going to bring your feminine touch to it, but you're also, like you said, you love this community.
I do.
This is your home. You're not going to do anything.
I love it.
You're not going to do anything detrimental to it.
Let's hope not.
If I do, it's on accident.
That is not the plan.
Right. But I think that's great that women support women. I do think, I say powerful women support powerful women. And it doesn't mean that they have this powerful career. It means that they're just a powerful person.
You're right.
And I love it.
It's wonderful to see.
I love seeing women just kind of step up and shine. And they don't have to be a leading role. They just have to be a helping hand in a project, organization, just anything like that. And I see that you're doing that, and so many other women are doing that around here. And it's just so encouraging. It is. It's encouraging for these young girls, growing up, and they see, wow, I guess I don't have to, and I know this is so 1950s and we were coming out of it in the 80s. I don't have to be a homemaker. Not that a homemaker, my mother was a homemaker, and she was a kick-butt homemaker. I can't do, I wasn't built that way. But, I don't have to just be a teacher. I don't say just, but, teacher, nurse, these typical female careers.
Positions,
I could be a city manager someday. I could go into politics. And that's exciting. I think
that's
great.
what is one of the strengths of our community as well. That we have people like that in our community that are willing to step up and and
Yes.
say, hey, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and we support you, and you're going to do great.
And that's exactly what you did. You were like, this was not on my radar.
No, it was not.
I had to pray on it. And I really was like, people were pushing you and you were digging your heels like, I don't really think this is
That's
it.
exactly what happened. Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are,
But I think you're going to do a great job. You took over the role April 1st,
Yes,
was it? On April
1st.
Fool's Day?
April Fool's Day, that was a joke.
Do you think they're going to come back and say, it was a joke?
I changed my mind, April Fool's.
You're like, well, it was a joke on you because I didn't want to do it anyway. We've already talked about projects that you're excited about. What do you think are Crossville's greatest strengths? And how do you plan to leverage that to benefit this community?
Well, as I mentioned, the people, that's one of our
Yeah.
great strengths, our beauty. I mean, this is a beautiful place. Crossville in Cumberland County is one of the most beautiful places you could ever live. But on the business side of things, we have low tax rates.
Yeah.
We have low water rates. It's an affordable place to live. Very affordable place to live. We've got a strong sense of community, and the Palace helps with that as well. In our little downtown area, it helps to develop that too. And one thing I don't think a lot of people touch on, our active retirees, they contribute to this community and add value like you would not believe. We have a lot that come to the city and want to volunteer, and it's just amazing what all that they're doing for our town. They're building trails, they're everything.
Yes.
And I hope to be them someday. I don't think I will be. I'll be like, I'm going to the couch. But no, these people, they're like cutting trees and building trails. And
I couldn't agree more. And I think a lot of that is because, I grew up working at the Cumberland County Playhouse, and they really rely heavily on their volunteer staff. And everyone that volunteered, they were older. They were definitely of retired age. And they were there. They were there to help with whatever they could. I see that. I've seen that in the concessions area here.
Yes.
I don't know if it's currently going on, but I know in the years past I've seen that. Fairfield is a, prime example of the things that they, done. Like you said, the trails. Marianne of Altered Life Photography told you about the local Tennessee. She has only lived here, I think, since 2015. She's from Chicago.
Wow.
And she's pushing support local mom and pop shops here. She's not Crossville, but she's Crossville.
Yeah.
This is and she lives in Fairfield. There's that big disconnect. Well, they're Glade, we're Crossville.
No.
She's coming into Crossville and she's like, hey, I want us to support these local businesses. We have got to grow our community. It's exactly what you said. She's gone out. She didn't leave here. She came from somewhere else, and she's bringing in her knowledge and her
experience and her career. It could be in a past career that they've had.
Exactly.
That they are not ready to totally give up.
Right. I love that. I think it's great. And you're right. It is a Crossville strength.
It is, definitely.
Absolutely. Are there any upcoming events or programs that you would like to highlight for our listeners that are happening within the city?
Well, we have our normal events, the cruise-ins at the fourth Saturday of every month. And then Friday at the Crossroads, those things are going on. We have the fly-in, which is actually in October at the airport. Lots of people come in for that.
Okay.
And the Bigfoot Festival, you can't forget that.
Oh my gosh. I cannot
I hope
believe.
you'll have the opportunity to have someone from that committee.
I'm going to have to. My son went to Mark Baldwin's Space Camp today.
Oh, okay.
Mark and I and my husband, we even judged a talent show in Tansy this last winter. So I kind of got to know him a little bit better. And all I can think of is like, why Bigfoot? And yet it exploded.
Yes.
It's not me. I don't get it. But apparently Bigfoot is a big thing. So
Well, we went to Nashville for an economic and community development meeting. And it was about this grant that we wanted to apply for. And they asked about the Bigfoot Festival. That was their first question.
Really?
After our presentation.
They didn't ask about Buc-ee's. They asked about Bigfoot.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What did you tell them? Well, he's got big feet. I probably need to have Mark on here for several different things. He's kind of like me. We dabble in
so many hats.
I know.
So many.
So I want to ask him about creative compassion. I want to ask him about, his space
camp,
things.
yeah.
And then why Bigfoot? I feel like that could be a whole segment itself. Like, what were you thinking, Bigfoot? And yet he must have been onto something because people jumped and it exploded. How do you balance the challenges of managing a city? And I know you've not done it long, but what you don't know, you're going to know, and we'll ask you in another year. Have you learned anything new?
Yeah, there will be lots of things, hopefully.
I'm sure. How do you balance that with managing a city and ensuring that that decisions benefit as many residents as possible? Because you can't make everybody happy.
You can't make everybody happy. You're right, but you have to investigate every phone call that you have, and you have to start there and then start digging deeper and say, is this really a problem?
Right.
And just have an open door policy, like I said, taking every single phone call, being open to listening to their complaints.
Yeah.
Or their concerns. Or we do actually have people that call and praise us, believe it or not.
And I think that's incredible.
And you can build on that as well.
I'm going to encourage listeners right now that if you see anything happening in the city that you are just excited about, be a cheerleader, not just the women. We need cheerleaders. Call them up, say, hey, Valerie Hale is kicking tail. Oh, there's your other motto. Valerie Hale's kicking tails. Yes. We do need cheerleaders because I would imagine working in the position you are, it probably feels like very unstable footing with how people perceive you and feel about you. When I can see sitting across the table from you that you love this community, you just want to do what you think is best, and you are going to investigate every facet that you don't want any pitfalls. You want what's best for this community.
I don't want to assume anything.
You're going to have to look into it. And I think that's incredible. And I think that even if you mess up, which I don't think you're going to, and I'm going to encourage everyone
messes up.
No, you don't mess up. No, but I'm going to encourage everyone to just applaud the fact that you're trying. Sometimes that's all people could really ask for and expect. And apparently that's what it was with this. We just need someone to try. And you were like, reluctant. I guess it'll be me.
Well, and if I could also interject or take a moment to advertise our citizen request portal.
Yes,
please. We were talking about problems. If you see an issue across the city, we do have a space on our website where you can submit that issue to us.
Awesome.
And then we can take a look at it. So that's just part of my response from earlier. We're going to look at everything.
Yes.
And we even have the opportunity to do that online. See a traffic light out, anything like that.
Awesome.
Send it to us.
And it's on the website, because I did speak to someone from the Cumberland Fellowship, Recovering Crossville, and I asked, do you have any resources? And then it was like, like this massive list of things. And then in that moment, I was like, I need to have a resource section on my website with the podcast, because people are giving information. It's useful. So like I could attach it to this website.
CrossvilleTN.gov.
There you go.
Yeah, you can find all of our agendas, all of our minutes, all of our meetings, everything. We're totally transparent. It's there. But then there's also, like I said, this citizen request portal that you can submit requests.
And, we want to encourage people to utilize that. When are the meetings?
The meetings are the first Tuesday of the month is the work session. And every item that's going to be discussed at the city council meeting the following week is discussed at length at the work session.
Okay.
And then by the time they get to the city council meeting, they've got other questions asked.
Oh, I'm sure.
There are very few details to work out at that point. It's the business meeting, and then they just take care of business. But the work session is mainly where all of the details come out, where you can learn all facets of the projects that they're talking about. And the work session is the place to be. I think Kevin might have mentioned to you that the Planning Commission is where you find out all the details. Well, with the City Council, the work session is where you find out all the details.
He did. And I appreciated Kevin coming. That was, of course, I'm going to be very transparent with you, because I don't know if he was, but he absolutely threw you under the bus to put you on this show.
He did tell me that.
Okay, yeah. He was like, hey, you know who'd be great for your show? And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And then after I interviewed him last week, he pulled me aside when I was walking him out to the lobby to say goodbye. And he was like, I threw her under the bus with this. I'm like, oh, she must love you.
That's okay.
Absolutely. And you were supposed to be here last week, but you were sick.
I was sick.
And you were sick enough to say, I can't even come into work.
I couldn't even work.
You're like, I'm on my deathbed.
Yes.
I know I got the message from you earlier. You're like, hey, I've been hit with a head cold, but I'm really going to try to talk it out. And I was at the ball field. I looked at my husband. I was like, she's trying to get out of it. But Kevin even said, he goes, no, she is not doing good. She didn't even show up today. You had the crud.
Still trying to get over it.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't know anything about science, but it seems like the the pollen this year has been horrendous.
Yes. And those little squiggly things, they're everywhere.
Yes,
I thought those
they're
were
in
only
my
in the
pool.
fall, but yeah,
They're in my
everywhere.
pool. I can't get them out. And just when I think I've gotten them all out and it's nice and clear, I wake up the next morning and
full
there
again,
they
yeah.
are. And there's a lot of yellow in it. And I'm like, I know it's not algae. This year has been rough. I've been sick too, so it's not been fun. So finally, I'm not going to take up too much of your time because you're a busy woman. When you're not busy managing the city, what do you enjoy doing in your free time in Crossville? Because you are a human being with a family.
Yes, yes. Speaking of family, I enjoy spending time with my son when he's here. He has actually moved away. He lives in Somerset, Kentucky, but he comes home on most weekends. So I like to spend time with him, going to the lake, and I really enjoy hiking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of hiking trails.
We do. Like they have that huge hiking marathon in September, and I sign up for it every year. I've never gotten my T-shirt because I get like maybe 3 or 4 in, and I'm like, I don't have a free week. September and October are slammed
They're so
with stuff.
busy. I do the same thing. I think this is the year I'm going to do it, and then conferences come up, and you're gone a whole week, or just different things come up.
And I'm not going to do it during a weekday because my kids are still in school, and that's like I got to feed them. Then I got to go out to Fairfield for this hike, and those hikes are not short. Some of them are shorter than others, but
some of them can be long, and take up most of your afternoon.
And like you said earlier, this is one of the most beautiful communities we had. I know that there's a lot of, and I see it on social media, and it doesn't mean that we're speaking for everyone. There's been some animosity towards there's been just a massive influx of newcomers and transplants. And I just have this attitude of, this place is beautiful.
It is. Why wouldn't they want to be here?
It's quiet. We have a slower pace of life. And I'm not going to lie, at first was kind of mind-boggling for me. I'm like, I cannot live like this. Why wouldn't we want to share that? I think that this is all about sharing is caring kind of thing.
Yes.
We should share our community, and they come in and they share with us what they've found and their experiences.
Right. It goes both ways.
So, and I just think and we build a community that way. And I want to build a community, and I know that that's what you want to do. I really appreciate your time coming here today, Valerie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I know that everyone gets really nervous about being on this. I'm like, I really just want it to be a conversation and just kind of let everyone know who you are, what your intentions are. And your intentions right now are just to make sure that we grow.
Yeah, we grow.
We grow.
And we get these projects off the ground and get them completed.
And that doesn't even mean grow as in like population size. It means that we're growing in areas in areas that make your life better.
Yes.
Like the sidewalks. I would love to see these sidewalks completed. I'm really excited about that.
It's going to be about a year, but we'll get there.
I won't rush you. I know that to have a good thing, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you so much.
And we will probably check in with you as things build up and pick up. We just appreciate you.
It's my pleasure.
Because I do appreciate you. You clearly stepped up when you were not prepared to do so. And you were like, well, reluctantly, I will do it. And this is your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you're coming down, it's right off Interstate 40. It's my beloved hometown, Crossville, Tennessee. And when I leave, I feel so sad, not just because of Mom and Dad. It's for my love of hometown, Crossville, Tennessee.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of What's Up Crossville. We want to give a shout out to the amazing sponsors for their support. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Leave us a review, and don't forget to share this episode with a friend. For more information about What's Up Crossville, visit us at whatsupcrossville.com. There, you can find upcoming episodes, resources mentioned in the episode, and even recommend future guests. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the individual speakers and do not represent the policy or positions of this show, its related entities, advertisers, or the Southern Spitfire brand. While our discussions may cover a variety of topics, the content of What's Up Crossville is intended to inform, inspire, and entertain. It should not be used as a substitute for professional advice. For medical, financial, legal, or other professional advice, we encourage our listeners to seek the expertise of a licensed professional who can provide personalized guidance. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode of What's Up Crossville.